The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Nick Fantasy. The brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Friday afternoon, October 10th, around 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Rachel, once again, a part of a three-person podcast, joined by Lonte and Dylan again. Thought the Game 5 pod went well for the first Game 5 we talked about between the Tigers and the Mariners. Going to run it back. We have another Game 5. Luckily, the Cubs were able to win, so we picked up another game to talk about. But I'm joined by Lonte and Dylan. Dylan, how's it going with you? You comfortable now that you're on the bottom of the screen?
I'm very comfortable being on the bottom. I did not feel right being up top left. That is for the host, so I will let you have that. But I'm doing good.
Well, now you're top right.
Now I'm top right. All right. I'll say this. I said I was happy watching the MLB postseason.
No, you didn't. Your exact words were, I was hate watching every team.
But I was smiling ear to ear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it was so good watching the Phillies lose like that yesterday. Oh my God. I'm happy. I'm doing good. Bets have been good. Devils lost, but other than that, baseball's been good.
I think every New York team lost. The Rangers did win yesterday, but they beat Buffalo, so I guess that's a trade-off. But they're 1-1. The Islanders were entertaining. They lost, but you know what? Schaefer looks good. All I can ask for a first overall pick, but we'll see what happens. But either way, also joined by Lonte. Lonte, how's it going with you? What's up?
Not bad, man. I don't really have any exciting things to say like D-Rock did. I'm just doing okay.
Once again, we're looking at a pretty entertaining game on the schedule. Milwaukee's on the verge of blowing a 2-0 lead. Technically, they did already because it's 2-2, but they can officially be eliminated, of course, with a home loss. We'll point out, though, the listed pitchers for both teams are not officially announced yet, so we might be doing some speculation. But either way, we know, of course, it is not going to be Peralta, who gave up a meatball home run to Happ in the first inning. And then we know for the Cubs, it's not going to be Boyd. So we don't know. Besides that, we'll figure it out. But either way, should be a pretty fun Game 5. I'll ask about the games yesterday, though, because Dylan talked about it. Yeah, tough loss for the Phillies. My picks on the podcast, not great. Unfortunately, I did pick the Phillies as my dog. My sole argument was it's a coin flip game. And it was literally a coin flip game. And it was plus money. And they lost. So, for starters, if you didn't know, the Phillies ended up having a lead. They intentionally walked Ohtani, who was 1 for 17 in the series, by the way, at the time, to load the bases for Mookie Betts. They walked Betts, gave up the game-tying run, lost in extras on just an awful throw by the pitcher, who just airmailed it over Real Muto, despite having a free out at first base with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Yeah, Dylan, you brought it up, so I'll let you go first. Any thoughts?
Besides being a spectacular way to lose, it's tough. I mean, he panicked. First of all, he didn't clean it. He didn't field the ball cleanly as well. He panicked. I have a hard time believing anybody on this pod would mess up that throw and not go to first base.
See, my immediate red flag was the catcher pointing to first base. I'd probably pivot to first base at that point. But he said, you know what? I'm already committed. All right,
I got to get the force out with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good.
Let me get the force. But I know everyone wants to blame it on that. But let's be honest. They scored 1 run. The top of the line.
I mentioned this for years. They only score via home run.
Yeah, and
why are you walking Ohtani as well?
Well, I couldn't believe that decision.
Why are you walking? Why are you
ridiculous?
Pitch
Didn't he end the series? What was he, 1 of 18, 1 of 19 in the series?
I think he was 1 of 19, yeah.
It's one thing if you have a bad hitter behind Ohtani, but it's Mookie Betts, who is also a really good, I'd say, batter at the plate, not just for hits, but also for plate discipline. Mm-hmm. And he was able to walk in the following at bat. We know Duran could be wild. I thought loading the bases in general for a pitcher that can be wild at times is a dangerous proposition. But Ohtani was a mess the entire series, and he didn't even force him to beat you. I thought that was an abysmal decision by Thompson, but they still had a tie game. Turner with a couple of brutal at-bats, one with the guy on base there.
The whole top of the lineup, Scott, has been terrible.
Schwarber at least woke up a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, Bryce has been terrible.
I forgot Harper was on the team.
Well, Bone has been the best hitter, right?
Bohm was up there because they had a bunch of singles. I mean, Cassidy had a couple of. Yeah.
JT's been okay too, but they like Scott said, they're all singles.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Cassidy had the doubles every now and then. And Schwarber hit a couple of balls that didn't land in Los Angeles. But, yeah, once again, the offense shut down because they didn't hit home runs. And like the Yankees, the small ball's not exactly great. They tried it. They messed up the bunt to get Costi over to third in Game 2. And, yeah, they had chances, and they just didn't convert. So, nice win there for the Dodgers.
What do you think about the Phillies manager?
Look, I think Thompson is a classic players manager where players love to play for him, but the actual X's and O's are going to lag behind.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Because it feels like Thompson doesn't exactly handle the moments as best he could, but the players love him. That's why they keep him. But do I think he's a great X's and O's guy? No. So Thompson messing up a couple of big spots doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it doesn't elimination game.
What do you think we're going to see the same? Because this is a team that won over 95 games. Like,
can't be the same team. They got to extend a bunch of people. Schwarber's going to get paid a bunch of money. I think Suarez is also a free agent. Realmuto is a free agent. I think this is the last time we see them with this current core. They might bring a guy or two back. Yeah. They're not bringing back everybody.
I thought the pitching's been good. I thought Sanchez pitched great.
He was great. Even Luzardo was good out of the bullpen. He got the loss in the end, but I thought Luzardo was good too. The pitchers were fine. And a reminder that Wheeler was out of commission. So the rotation is still good when healthy. But Suarez might leave. We'll see what happens. Schwarber's going to get paid a bunch of money for a guy in his mid-30s, as he should. I mean, he led the league in RBIs and had a bunch of home runs. The Phillies got to let somebody go. And we know Realmuto is, you could argue, declining, but he's still an above-average, obviously, catcher, a top-5 catcher in the league. I'll ask you, if you had to prioritize, who would you prioritize? Because you can have a conversation about a couple of people.
Well, they have Trey Turner on that 10-year deal, right?
Yeah, so I'm sure that's going to age very well.
Very well.
Harper's on what, like a 12-year deal, 14-year deal?
Yeah, so they're staying, which they're overpaid for. I probably wouldn't pay as much as the market is going to pay Schwarber for.
That's the problem you're running into, is that you might have to let him walk solely based on market value.
100%.
Send him to the Yankees, baby.
You want him?
He'd be great with the short porch, but...
Yeah, he would.
Look, the Yankees can't field. They already have 7 DHs. Like, Schwarber doesn't fit with this team at all, if I'm being honest, but we'll see. He can't field to save his life. So, you have Stan out there. You have Stan out there who can't field. You have a bunch of guys who can field. Even Dominguez can't field. Like, they got a lot of problems in terms of actual position playing. Schwarber's not going to the Yankees.
And it sounded like
Texas.
Oh, my
Rangers.
Texas, I guess. I mean, they could use some hitting.
Yeah, the Rangers.
So, there are a lot of teams out there who are either fringe teams. Maybe Buster Posey decides, you know what? We got Devers playing first base. Screw it. Let's get Schwarber out there. Why not? Who knows?
I think Schwarber's gone. The way
he's going to.
The post conference or post interview, he was very emotional. It seemed like he played his last game in Philly. Yeah. I think you gotta prioritize either JT, which I agree, I think he is on the decline, or Ranger Suarez, which pitching has been a kind of their Achilles heel these past 3-4 years for them.
Well, it's mostly the bullpen, and the rotation has been fine.
Well, I mean, they got to stay healthy though.
Correct. Yeah. But I'm saying, even with the injuries they had, Luzardo was good. Even Nola was okay, piggybacking with Suarez. But Sanchez, top 3 Cy Young guy. Wheeler, when healthy, normally top 3 Cy Young guy. So you have some guys anyway. Luzardo was up and down, but he's a good number 3 guy when you have a fully healthy rotation.
I think not just those. I know those are like the big 3, but there are other guys like Max Kepler, David Robertson.
I mean, they don't move the needle, though. That's
no, but
I don't think Suarez moves the needle either, as arguably a number 5 in that rotation when fully healthy.
I think he's gone. I think JT stays. I think Kyle Schwarber's gone, and I think Ranger Suarez is gone. I think JT's the guy that they prioritize. So that's my prediction. I think Ranger goes to the Padres. They need pitching.
Okay. I think that you could also argue the Phillies maybe can use some of the cap space and sign somebody else that they don't currently have. So they can cause basically an indirect flip if they really want to. The Phillies, at the end of the day, I don't know how much of it is based on roster and how much of it is based on the same thing the Yankees have issues with, which is a front office built in analytics that focuses a lot on 3 true outcomes. and they just don't move the line. It's ironic that a team that's as home run dependent as the Phillies lost on an infield single error fielding by the pitcher. It's pretty fitting. That's how it ended. When they lost by the opposite outcome of what they try to build themselves. Right? I mean, is that a fair statement?
Yeah, no, it's very fair. It's just funny.
So there you go. But the Phillies are now going home. It's the same story every year. Same thing with the Yankees. So I kind of group them together. But we'll see what happens during the offseason for Philly. It's a very important.
Who do you think they prioritize?
Schwarber until they see the price tag.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the right answer.
What do you think he's going to get?
A bunch. I mean, he's off a career season. There are a lot of desperate teams out there. Even if it's a bad team that wants to try to bring Schwarber in, it's the case a GM could make to buy himself a few more years. You say, look at this thing that I did. You got to let this play itself out. You might buy yourself a potential year or two. But do I think Schwarber's a big mover? Not really, because he can't field.
He's 32 years old. How much longer do you think he realistically has?
He's younger than I thought he was. I thought he was like 35.
But he's only like a 240 hitter. Yeah, he hits a lot of bombs.
There's no It's going to be mostly home runs and RBIs. He led the league in RBIs, so I can't ignore that.
The left-handed version of Stanton.
Yeah, but you're looking at a guy who can't field, and that's going to be a serious problem. And he, as you said, has a bad batting average, which doesn't really matter that much anymore. If you look at WRC plus,
yeah,
a bad team could pay a ton of money. A good team could pay him a lot of money and think that he's the guy to take him over the top. I mean, the Dodgers have infinite money. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to think of like actual teams that can make an argument.
Bro, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
it wouldn't surprise.
All I'm going to say is, based on the history of this franchise, this is such an angel signing.
Yes.
An extreme angel signing. They just pay him, say, listen, you'll hit 40 home runs. We can pretend that we're going to be good in the post-Trout era, or maybe, whatever time he has left. Him, Joe Adell, and Mike Trout's corpse. Pay $70 to go to a game.
Yeah.
I think the Angels really make a lot of sense, historically speaking, for a team that would overpay Kyle Schwarber. I mean, they did that with Josh Hamilton, didn't they?
Yeah.
Albert Pujols.
Shout out.
They have a history for it.
Shout out Josh Hamilton.
The Angels are going to be my dark horse candidate to overpay for Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, I thought you meant for next year. Okay, I'm like, what the fuck?
What do you think, Lonte?
I mean, you about Schwarber? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like Scott said, it's going to be somebody. It's going to be somebody out there. Some team is going to pay him just simply because of what he can do, like home run wise. I mean, they don't care about the average when, he's hitting, balls like 400, 500 feet. Like they don't.
Yeah. The Dodgers one, I think, went like 455, give or take. That ball was crushed.
Yeah. So I mean, it's tough to figure out what they're going to do. I don't really know. I kind of agree with your sentiment about Sanchez, but again, I would keep Sanchez because you keep having the same issues pitching wise. So why not have as much as you can?
Well, you mean Sanchez or Suarez?
Suarez. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Suarez. Yeah, like I would have.
I think Suarez is good too, but it also comes down to market. That's a lot of money for arguably a number 5 in your rotation.
Yeah. I mean, they're in a tough spot, man. They're in a tough spot.
They're in a very tough spot. By the way, I see Fuely. I don't know who you're even talking about. Are you talking about me?
No,
it's you?
Yeah. Clearly, he's new.
See, I don't know if he's talking about you or me, because he's saying the best way for the Phillies to lose. I did say it was ironic that a team home run dependent lost on a ball that was hit about 20 feet. I think that is pretty ironic, but I don't know if he's talking about you or me.
No, because I think I said...
Just saying, Fuely, can you specify who you're talking about? It's fine if you're
me.
mad. Just let us know which person you're actually talking about.
That's hilarious.
That's fine, but just asking. But either way, the Phillies have some work cut out for them. Then again, I think we'd all agree this current core, they haven't gotten over the hump anyway, so why would you keep running it back? So we'll see. Any other points?
No, not on that game.
Cool. We'll mention the Cubs, of course, winning Game 4 in the preview for Game 5, because that segues into it perfectly. But before we get into the actual thoughts on Game 5, a reminder, if you want to check out some hockey content, NHL's back, so is the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest games, storylines, awards, and the best bets throughout the season. Let it slide. Also, we are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Use them to bet on football, baseball. They have college football as well. Prop builder second to none. The model's simple. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Use crypto for deposits and payouts. You can sign up for your new account. Use code SGPN for 100%. Bet back $100 to new customers. I'll get the G promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. They're a very, very, I'd say, up-and-coming platform to help you with your bets. America's #1 prediction market for sports. And you can also get some great prices using Novig compared to sportsbooks. It's available in 35 states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend just $5. If you use promo code SGPN, get on the actual Novig. Promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the recap of what happened yesterday. Well, partially, mostly a recap of the Phillies season-ending loss and what their offseason plans might look like. But time to move on into the only game on the card. We have a Game 5 again in the National League as we have the Cubs taking on the Brewers. Looked like it was going to be a very old-fashioned sweep early on when the Brewers won the first 2 games handily. Cubs said not so fast. They won both games at Wrigley. The home team has won every game, so keep that in mind. But for this one, we don't have any pitchers listed. We can guess, but we're going to see some combination, I'm sure, of multiple starting pitchers piggybacking off each other. Probably what's going to happen in this one, but for the actual pricing, Milwaukee is a favorite, but not that massive of a favorite. They're about minus 135. Cubs are around plus 115. The over or under is at 7.5. So for this game, we know Milwaukee used Peralta in Game 4. So for Game 5, you actually have a couple of choices. It could be a bullpen game. We'll see. I am going to point out that for Game 2, which they ended up winning in the series, they did use Ashby as an opener. Of course, he was not very good yesterday, so they did go bullpen game for Game 2. So if they want to recycle that could be the option. For the Cubs, it might be Imanaga, who's been atrocious. So I think they might try to stay away from him. I know initially there were some rumors that Horton might actually be back for a potential late appearance in the NLDS, but as far as I know, I haven't seen anything. So he's not going to be available as far as I know because he's not a part of the active roster. So we don't know who's pitching. You guys want to guess?
I think it's going to be Imanaga and Jacob Mrzarowski to start.
So do you think Imanaga starts, or do you think that he is going to be after an opener because he did appear after an opener earlier in the playoffs?
I think he might just start like the first 2-3 innings.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just my take.
So we both think it's basically going to be a bullpen game.
Yeah.
But Imanaga will get a couple of innings as the bulk guy for Chicago.
Yeah.
Lonte, what do you think? If you had to pick who's starting, you think, for this game?
Yeah, I think it would be Imanaga. I mean, just simply put, I don't think they'll use him long. Short leash, really, really short leash.
Yeah, it's such a dangerous idea, though, because Imanaga's been so bad.
He's so bad.
He's been so bad.
But what other options do you have?
That's the problem.
Cade Horton.
They can't use him on the roster. I know. Yeah, bring back Kerry Wood. I'm trying to think of what options you have here. The last couple starts, 2 2/3 against Milwaukee, 4 earned. 4 innings, 2 earned against the Padres, 5 2/3, 8 runs against the Mets, 5 innings, 3 runs against the Reds, 5 innings, 3 runs against the Rays. I mean, he walks into allowing basically multiple home runs per game. Imanaga's allowed multiple home runs per game in, that is 5 of his last 7 starts. Actually, 6 of the last 8 starts. I mean, it's batting practice sometimes. And we saw Milwaukee torch him in Game 2. Their hands are tied. So I think they might use Kittredge maybe for the first inning and then go from there. The first inning has been a pretty important inning for both teams in the series, and the Cubs especially have been getting off to some good starts in every game so far. So Mrzarowski might go, we'll see, but both teams probably have massive bullpen games planned, which can result in a very up and down Game 5. But we know the Cubs on the road this season, not very good. And Milwaukee at home has been incredible. So for the road numbers for Chicago, Chicago so far this season on the road was 42-39. But if you throw in the actual games for Game 1 and 2 in this series, 42-41. For Milwaukee at home, including the games against Chicago, Game 1 and 2, they are 54-29. So I'll ask you, do you think 130, 135 is a fair price on Milwaukee, or do you think it should be closer? Because the entire pitching scenario for both teams is a free-for-all.
Yeah, I think it's similar to what we thought in Game 1, Scott, to be honest. We looked at it and we saw Peralta as such a short favorite at home, knowing what Milwaukee does at home. So I think it's in that same vein, except for Peralta's not going. Now, obviously, if it's going to be a highly volatile game and you're going to depend on like bullpens and short relievers, I'm going to trust the Brewers to get it done at home simply because of, I mean, it's proof they've been able to do it at home. I think what you brought up is really important about the first inning, because typically Chicago will get off to a hot start and then kind of flutter a little bit. But now I think that the Brewers, coming off those 2 losses, they probably should have got game 3. They kind of left a lot of guys on base. So I think the price is probably a little short. If I had to make it, I would make it probably about 150. I'm interested to hear what D-Rod got for that. But
really? You think 150 with no official starting pitcher?
150. I mean, you see what the Brewers have been doing at home. And you got the Cubs pitching maybe Imanaga, and then I don't trust their bullpen. I mean, it's been better, but I don't trust it on the road, especially.
All I'm going to say is for Milwaukee's bullpen, please don't use Ashby. Please.
So
just
bad.
Please. I know Ashby can throw 100, and I get that he has, unique pitches, but it has not been working against Chicago. I just don't think it's really, once again, I'd say a pitcher I'd want to see on the mound. I think Milwaukee should be favored, but 150 feels pretty egregious to me. I think 130 sounds about right. The question is, though, Milwaukee's been here before, and Dylan can talk about it. The last time they were here for a winner-take-all game.
Devin Williams.
Devin Williams, who lost with my team a couple days ago. Pete Alonso ended up ending their season. So we have seen Milwaukee, legacy of choking as well in the postseason, back kind of in the same exact spot they were in last year. Do you think it goes differently this time, Dylan, or do you think they actually lose again to Chicago?
I think it goes different. I think they get over the hump. Real quick, total seems spot on. I have no opinion on the total, but I would
go over, if anything. It's going to be, you could argue under a roof that's retractable, so maybe we'll end up seeing it, but I don't trust the pitchers at all in this game, and both offenses have been pretty good for the most part. I mean,
especially in the first inning.
Yeah, especially in the first inning. So I don't mind a first 5 over maybe, but I think the over is the play for me for a total. But back to the side, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the Brewers here at home. I got a minus 125, but even a minus 130 that you said you're seeing, my total came out to minus 140 if it is Morawski starting. But, at home, I feel like is where you want to back him. 344 for as long as he's going to go 3-4 innings. He was nails on Monday on the road, only 3 innings, 1 hit given up. He had 4 strikeouts. Even if he goes 3 to 4 innings, I feel like I just trust the Brewers bullpen more than the Cubs right now. And most of the Cubs runs have come off starters, not so much the bullpen. The bullpen has only given up 3 runs. So I don't trust the Cubs. I don't trust their bullpen. And really, if it is Imanaga, that's where the cap starts. He's been awful in the postseason. 8.10 ERA, Scott mentioned earlier. He gives up the long ball. And Brewers, they've been raking at home all season, especially here in the playoffs. So I just don't see the Brewers losing two years in a row at home in a do-or-die game. So I'm going to take the Brewers here straight up. I think they advance.
Yeah, I might play devil's advocate. Because I've been here before with Milwaukee, and I have college friends who have been here before with Milwaukee. They're going through it. They're going through it right now. I might actually take Chicago. At the end of the day, the question is, I know Milwaukee's been dominant at home all season long.
Yeah.
But if the Cubs actually jump Mizorowski early, and the crowd who's seen it happen time and time again, can the home field in a way work against them?
100%.
Where everybody just starts, getting louder with the moans and groans about how the team's losing. If the Cubs,
Seattle.
That's the thing, though. Is I think if the Cubs actually jump them early, the home field might actually not be as powerful as you think.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I'm banking on the Brewers. If it is Imanaga, I'm banking on them coming out putting up 3 runs and 2 or 3 runs in the first inning.
They got to come out aggressive.
Yeah, and then avalanche. And then it's going to avalanche.
It would make sense, but then again, Boyd was terrible in game 1. He completely shut down the Brewers I know it was in Wrigley, but they did get a second look at Boyd, and they were terrible against him. So who knows? But Imanaga is a guy who I don't really want to see on the mound, personally, if I was going to back the Cubs, because he's been that bad for the last 2 months. But you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at the pitchers on your roster, and this is where Horton would have come in handy. But you don't have it. So I think for the price, I'll go Chicago. Maybe if you want to argue Chicago team total and you back the offense, ignore the pitching. I don't mind that. I think Chicago can score some runs in this game. But I do think 130 for a team that we've seen time and time again, whether it involved Game 7 against the Dodgers years ago when I was in Wisconsin, actually, for college. They lost to the Dodgers in 7 at home. Last year against Pete Alonso. They've had a couple of bad no-shows in winner-go-home games at home in these type of spots. So I don't mind Chicago for the plus money, but I think I like the over more as my favorite play.
The question is, can the Brewers win the big one?
Yeah, and so far they have not been able to. So I understand it's a great spot. I get the home record speaks for itself, but the Cubs have shown a lot more mental toughness than I thought they had. And the truth is, it looked very dangerous in Game 3. The offense shut down after 1 inning, and they held on to win. So nice job by them there. And they just boat raced Milwaukee in Game 4. I mean, that game was over quickly. Milwaukee's offense did nothing. They actually scored some runs against the bullpen. Kyle Tucker, but a Kyle Tucker sighting. He had a home run.
Fine. Ian Happ finally woke up too.
Yeah, he had the big hit in the first inning. Yeah, I know Kelly had a home. Kelly had a home run that got overturned. But the point is, the Cubs had some power swings, and maybe that carries over into Milwaukee. I don't see this being a slam dunk Milwaukee home victory in Game 5. Game 5s get weird. I know in NBA we started saying it once again over the last couple years especially. Game 7s at home, the home teams have not been doing too well lately. Sometimes you see a game that you should win, and it just doesn't work out that way. All the pressure is on Milwaukee. There's no pressure on Chicago. They were down 2-0. People thought they were dead in the water, and now they're back. So there is a lot more pressure on Milwaukee than Chicago, and I might take that angle on the Cubs actually pulling this off. But I like the over in the game. Yeah, so that's my thoughts there. We'll talk about player props, though, because we mentioned it for the last Game 5 we talked about. Any player props you guys like, whether it involves overs or unders? Dylan, you can go first if you want.
Yeah, I had a few, actually. I like Christian Yelich over 1.5 HRR at -128. He has 5 hits over Imanaga and 12 at-bats, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. He's gone over this number in 3 of the 5 games. Think he could have a big game. I also like Nico Hoerner.
A lot of singles.
A lot of singles, but he's probably been their best hitter this postseason. 429. He has a hit in every game this postseason. He has 12 hits and 28 at-bats.
Yeah, the only pushback for best hitter would be maybe Bush for the power, but for contact, it's easily
for contact, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't mind Nico Hoerner as well. Those are kind of be my 2 player props that I like.
Yeah, for the pricing, Nico's singles actually -152. However, you can find his 1.5 HRR, the overs -110.
Love that.
So he has gone over in every game of the series. So I don't mind that. Lonte, any player props you want to go for games?
Yeah, I like that Centurio. I like his total bases over. I think he'll have a big game. I mean, he's had a hit in every game as well. He's got a home run also in I think Game 2, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been seeing it pretty well. I mean, he's got an extra base hit in 2 games ago. So, yeah, I like Jackson Centurio a lot here. As for the Cubs side, I was looking at Suzuki, but I mean, again, we talked about it last show. Like quality ABs, he's got a hit in 3 straight with the home run, so I think he can be fine there. He was a 1 of 7 in Milwaukee, but again, that was against the top of their pitching rotation. I think Suzuki can have a decent day at the plate, so I'm going to go Suzuki over total bases as well.
Yeah, if you wanted to back somebody for a home run, by the way, we'll get into that in a little bit. I actually won a home run play earlier in the series with the Contreras matchup against Imanaga because in his career has been great. He's 5 for 12 with 3 home runs against Imanaga. So if you want to go for a guy who's been good head-to-head wise, you might have a small sample there, maybe 1 and bad against Imanaga because we don't know how long he's going to go. But I do think that Contreras makes some sense. I wanted to fade Terang, but I wasn't sure how exactly to do it because Terang has been kind of brutal with some of the strikeouts that he's had in the series, and he's really bad against Imanaga. He's 1 for 11 lifetime with 5 Ks. So I thought about fading Terang potentially for no hits maybe as an option. You can find Terang no hits, which is available at around +160. He's had no hits in 3 straight games. I think +160 is a great price if you want to fade somebody like that. But I do think if I'm picking somebody to step up in a game for Chicago. He was the big hit yesterday, or one of the big hits yesterday. The game was arguably out of reach already.
Yeah.
I don't mind Kyle Tucker. 1.5 HRR plus 110. I can get behind that. He's been here before. We know that, of course, he has some jewelry with the Astros. Had a home run yesterday. I think it's a good matchup for him. I don't mind Kyle Tucker over 1.5 HRR plus 110.
Love it.
Any other player props you guys want to mention?
I have home run if you want to get into home run. I know you kind of mentioned mine. It's William Contreras. Obviously, you hit it the other night. He cashed for you. Hopefully, he cashes for me. You mentioned it, 3 home runs versus Imanaga. He's hitting 417 off of him. He also homered back in July off of him as well. He might just have his number. I know he doesn't usually hit lefties all that well, but I think William Contreras could have a good night as well, so I'll take him. Do you know the number on that, though?
Which part of Contreras?
Just home run.
Contreras home run is available at, pulling it up right now, plus 560.
Love it. Yeah, I'll take that as my home run prop.
All right, there you go. I will save the home run props officially for the end, but Dylan barely gives those out anyway, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, hey, so that's the plus.
All good. All right, I will ask them before we officially end our thoughts before we get into the lock and dog picks. Any other thoughts regarding the game from Dylan, Lonte? Anything else you want to add for the game, or should we just move on to the lock and dog?
No, I agree. I think it should be a close game. And I think the Brewers might win, and hopefully it's exciting. I just hope there's not a blowout. That's my biggest hope.
Yeah, that's what we all hope for.
Yeah.
You hate seeing blowout baseball and winner go home games. Lonte, anything else you want to add, or just move on?
Yeah, we can move on. I think it's going to be. I think the Brewers going to win comfortably, though.
Well, yeah, you had Milwaukee at minus 150, so it sounds like you just expect Milwaukee to kill this team. But
yeah, I do.
We'll get into that for the lock and dog. But all I'm saying is, based on the history of Milwaukee in this exact spot from the last couple of I'd say occasions, I think Chicago's got a chance. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to write them off for dead, but we'll see. Either way, though, before we get into the lock and dog picks, reminder brought to you by our sponsor, which is Unranked Fantasy. Play your fantasy pick'em entries. Chance to win 500 times your entry, pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats, available for a ton of different sports as well. Also, a new offer for new customers. Play just $5, give $100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They're off to a great start in college football and the NFL season with picks and props. Went 8-2 on passing prop overs in week 5, giving away week cash prizes for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type for any model that you build, and you can win $1K. And we have a nice promo code with Rhythm for a discount. If you use the code SGPN25 when you sign up, when you download the Rhythm app, you'll get 25% off your first month. Down Rhythm. Once again, promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the thoughts that we had for Game 5. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, I'll let you go first. What's going to be your lock and... Or actually, we'll do best bets, because we don't really need to do a lock and dog here. What's your best bet for Game 5?
I am going to just be a cop-out and take the Brewers here, minus 130, minus 135, whatever you're able to get. I just think they're the better team. I think they're not going to go down 2 years in a row at home in a dire fashion. And I just don't trust the pitching right now of the Chicago. I think they'll keep it interesting with their bats. I just think the Brewers are going to be too much in the end. So I'll take them on the money line as my best bet.
Cool. Lonte, what do you like as your...
Yeah, I like the Milwaukee team total over. I think Milwaukee has a good day on offense, especially if they can if it is in Imanaga, if they can get to them early and get to that bullpen, maybe after the first inning and a half, maybe, or inning and 2/3. I think they can, pretty much eat at home. They've been underwhelming offensively on the road. Obviously, love what they've been doing at home all year. I think they followed it up with a big performance. So I'm going to go with their team total over.
Yeah, for my best bet, I'm taking the over in general. I think Milwaukee should win this game, but I don't feel great about both teams using a bullpen game and a winner-go-home game. So I'm going to stay away from laying juice. Give me the over instead at 7.5. I know bullpen games can tend to trend under, because if a guy pitches badly, you pull him immediately. But there are so many uncertainties regarding the bullpen for both teams. Imanaga's been a mess. Do I trust Mizorowski to suddenly pitch well? No. I mean, we've seen a bunch of runs early in games so far. Both offenses have been good in different spurts. Milwaukee at home has been incredible. Chicago at home kind of woke up. I think you could see each team score 3+. One team might explode. I don't mind it. Even if Milwaukee does win, if Lonte's right and they bury this team, they can score 6-7 runs in a home game.
Yeah,
I'm
3.5.
that.
3.5 is that team total.
I also want to point out the first 5 over 1.5 for the Brewers is a very good play as well. They keep hanging 1.5s in the first 5, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to quickly check what the price is there. It's going to be juiced, but only losers pay juice because
3.5 minus $1.20.
Yeah, so let me just quickly see what the first 5 is for Milwaukee.
It's usually around minus 130, minus
145.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Which is really not bad. So I don't mind that play too. I can get behind that. But I'll go with the regular over 7.5. I'll back these offenses to show up in a game with suspect pitching on both sides. Moving on, though, to the home run picks. I know Dylan gave his out already. He gave out Contreras at plus 560. Lonte, who you going with for your home run pick?
Yeah, I mean, well, he stole yours, so I'm going to steal something that D-Rock gave out earlier. I like Yelich. I like him being back home. I mean, D-Rock rattled off his numbers. I mean, lefty on lefty, if it is in Monaga, I trust Yelich to kind of get it done. So,
for the record, by the way, Yelich is 5 for 12 lifetime with a home run against the Monaga.
So, and I mean, I just think the bats will wake up for Milwaukee. I thought about taking a sprinkle on Andrew Vaughn, to be quite honest. But
assuming he starts, that's also a question mark.
Yeah. But I think he'll get a couple ABs, whether he has a pitch hit or whatever. But yeah, I'm going with Christian Yelich.
By the way, Yelich is plus 750, if anybody was wondering. So for mine, I mentioned him for the HRR. I'm going to back him. I'm going to take a Cub. I actually kind of liked what he was doing in the last 2 games. Kyle Tucker, 2 hits, 2 runs, and RBI. Thought that he was swinging the bat pretty well as the series went on. Kyle Tucker home run, plus 475. I'll take it. Like the price. Think it's a good spot for him anyway. Experience is on his side as well. He's been there before. Give me Kyle Tucker home run at plus 475. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for the final episode of the divisional round. When we will be back, it'll be officially the championship series time. So we have a game, no matter what, taking place on Sunday, which will be the first game of the ALCS, I believe, between Toronto and TBD. So we're back for that. Either way, though, until next time, find me on Twitter, Radio. Find him on Twitter at XXLonteXX and him on Twitter at Rock with 2Ks24. Until next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.